Welcome to day 2 of IBM's Tennis Insights here at the Wimbledon Championships. Myself and Wilander are going to preview the game that will open up centre court play today. And it's the ladies' defending champion and two-time Wimbledon champion Petra Kvitova who takes on the Dutch lady Kiki Bertens. And when we look at the dominant display that Petra put on in the final last year against Genie Bouchard, beating her in straight sets 6-3, 6-love, it can only be described as power tennis. And IBM have come up with an aggressive shots insights. And when we look at the aggression that Petra displays on the court mats, it's not just to do with the speed of the ball, it's also about how close it bounces on the line and just where it pulls the player who's receiving the shot.
Yes, it is. She takes the ball very early. She steps inside the baseline very often. She takes the rhythm away from her opponent. So whether she makes her shots or not, it doesn't really matter that much because you don't have any chance to hit more than 2 or 3 shots per rally. But if she does play as well as she did in last year's final, is there anyone that can beat her? Not really. So
when we look at the first insight, it's aggressive ground strokes. Kvitova's what's known as a short ball hunter. She stays close to the baseline and she uses pure power to rush the opponent. And looking at the statistics from last year's Wimbledon final, she hit around double the amount of aggressive forehands, 23 to Bouchard's 12, and 4 times the amount of aggressive backhands, 20 to Bouchard's 5. So, Mats, is that a style of play you expect to see from her in the first round here this year?
I think so. I mean, obviously, when you go into finals, you're very confident, and I think she was very clear in her game plan. She wanted to take basically the racket out of Bouchard's hand by hitting the ball early and hitting it hard. In the first round, the grass is greener, the ball bounces a little bit lower, and it's more difficult for Kvitova, I think, to be as precise as she was in last year's final. But that is the way she plays, and if she plays well and that forehand goes in, then it's very difficult for anyone to do anything about it.
OK, well, when we look at the second statistic using IBM's Tennis Insights, it's aggressive serves. And in last year's final, Kvitova hit 53% of her serves down the middle of the court, and she didn't hold back either. The statistics showed that she had a 96% aggression on her first serves and 40% on her second serves. So she doesn't hold back, Mats, trying to get those aces.
Well, I think that when you serve down the tee or down the middle of the court is when you serve well, because that's usually the harder serve to hit, and you usually hit that a little bit flatter. So obviously she served very well, but she also has the option, being a left-hander, she can slide it out on the ad court into the backhand of her right-handed opponent.
Well, the third and final point we're going to look at using IBM statistics is what serve tactics Kiki Bertens could use today in her match against Petra Kvitova. And in last year's final, her forehand return was so dominant, Mats. When you look at the statistics, she won 94% of points with a forehand return and only 63 with a backhand return. So do you expect to see her going for the backhand?
I would think you're going to try and get to Kvitova's backhand as quickly as possible. But also when you play against Kvitova, because she's a little streaky, sometimes she plays great and there's not much you can do. But I think a lot of players go in and they wait and see what kind of game Petra Kvitova has on that day. One tactic, I think, is to get a lot of first serves in play, because you don't want to hit second serves against Petra Kvitova. She's gonna go for winners straight away. And also somehow try and keep the ball low. OK, well, it will be the opening match on centre court on day 2 of the 2015 Wimbledon Championships. And we'll be back with more IBM Tennis Insights tomorrow.